It's wacky, you know?
Right.
It's wacky.
Yep. Welcome, everybody. Comically Gaming, episode 127. Appreciate you stopping by this week. Before we kind of break into the show, I did want to just briefly discuss my plan for this year. Because I'm a Star Wars nerd, I'm going to watch every Star Wars movie one a month until Episode 9 comes out. And that's going to start next month. So if y'all feel like watching that along with me, then let's do it. We'll have a little conversation about it for a show.
Including Rogue One?
My show, including Rogue One, yep.
And Solo.
Yep. Yeah,
I did that last year, but...
Well, you don't have you can join the conversation. Then you know what the movies are. But I'm going to watch them again, and just so everything's fresh. And yeah, it'll start next week. So in the order that they were released. That's the order that
they were released.
Oh,
correct.
Interesting.
So 4, 5,
chronological.
6.
That
4,
is
5,
the
6,
chronological
1, 2, 3.
order.
That's a weird way to do it.
No, that's the only way to do it.
What?
Do
4,
it.
5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
When an artist creates a piece of art, they're influenced by the things that came before them. You don't watch it out of order, like that it didn't come out, like in everything that's like that. Books
It's
or
a
whatever.
numbered thing.
So I don't have to. I can hold off on the pain and suffering that's episode 1.
For a while.
Awesome.
Yep.
Oh, good.
I want to talk that through. Like
I
agree
think
with
2
you.
is worse.
I do.
think that those movies are terrible. All 3 of the prequels, but I'm going to watch them again and try and find some things to love about them. I'm going to try. So,
That's like nice. Oh.
Just subscribe to prequel memes first on Reddit, and then you'll think all the memes are funny as you watch the movie.
And then we can watch.
Us.
After you watch episode 1, you watch Infinity Wars, and you can see the duality
No,
between
stop
the
it.
two.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Stop it. All right. So we're going to chat up our week. For me, I kick it off this week. Still playing Celeste. I'm in Chapter 7. So I expect to be done by next week to chat about it again. I kind of stand by what I said last week. I think it started stronger than it has continued. It had a super strong start that I still love it all the way through where I'm at, but I was kind of thinking there would be more than whatever. We'll talk about it after we beat it. I put a lot of time into Fallout 76 also.
Nice.
And
What do
it's
you think?
interesting. Like halfway through the time I put into it, I was like, fuck this game. I see what everybody else sees in it. I hate it to death. I'm never playing it again. And I picked it up like a couple hours later and had a really good time with it. So I don't know where I stand on it. It is tough. Like you guys were kind of wrong when you were arguing against me last time about the emptiness of the world. Like what still pisses me off is that there's people in that world that you never see. Like you're a part of their crew and they're telling you to go on missions and stuff like that, but you never see them. You just...
Well, how big is the territory?
It's big.
It's huge, yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah, I haven't even seen a fraction of it, to be honest.
No.
But yeah, it needs NPCs. It's weird that they didn't... It feels like they just didn't have time, is what it feels like, and they put it out without them, and it feels weird.
Which is weird.
Elder Scrolls had NPCs, right?
See...
What?
Well, Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online?
Yes.
Well, yeah, but that was a living, breathing world.
Well, why isn't this?
Because
Yeah.
you don't know what time, you don't know when the other people actually left the vault.
It doesn't matter though. They're communicating with you through those terminals, telling you to do things, and like it's not. That's not. You're not just reading things from the past. You're communicating with those people that are still out there that you never see, ever.
Maybe.
The whole game.
I don't know.
It's weird.
I don't know.
Weird to me. It amazed me. I forgot about it last week, right after we played. But I started my second DMing game of Dungeons and Dragons ever, and that was really fun. Yeah, had a good time with it. It was all homebrew stuff too, which I've never done before. So it was cool. It was a good time. Yeah,
best.
it's funny. It was all about traveling down between the two games because there's
I-
quite a bit of travel in there.
I changed that demographic.
Yeah,
really quick.
and I made like this list, this Roll20 table of like random things to happen. So I made like, I found on the internet like 20 of these totally like cool different things that could happen, and we got to like one of them the whole time.
But it's still some wild shit happened to us for it to be homebrew. I mean, that was the
I'm gonna have
condition we're in. Like, it's awful.
Yeah.
How we got
But
to
we
that
got some
location.
shit. Shit.
I'm gonna have to homebrew Ravnica because there's nothing out there for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's why I was asking that, because I know there's nothing out for it. I got the book, but...
Yeah, I think it encourages me, to be honest, to look for the crazy things, right? Like, because if it's fun for me to read, then I think it'd be fun for y'all to play. And so it's not some of the books that they put out. They're very well made. Like the adventures are very well made, but it is kind of it seems like they try and keep it pretty streamlined. You know, that's Middle Earth, and it kind of follows by those rules and stuff. And so I like to find the crazier shit to throw into that. Like to me, it's more whatever. It's more fun for the players. But anyways,
Absolutely.
yeah, good time. Corey did it last week. This week I caught up on the Walking Dead TV show. It was all right. We talked so much shit about that show because it's terrible, and it still is. But those last 2 episodes were pretty good. In particular, there was some badass D&D Rangers wrecking shop in that show, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil it, but clearly influenced by D&D Rangers, you know, in multiples now, not just a couple. So it's fun.
It stays just good enough with it being The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Like, that keeps me watching it because I read the books, and then it stays just good enough to keep me watching.
I agree.
Like, it's well,
Totally agree. And
Yeah.
the last thing I was going to talk about is last night watched Blackkklansman. That was fucking amazing, really, to be honest. Like, it's really weird. Like, I talk about how when we've had arguments in the past where I talk about how no comic book movie kind of reaches the best of real movies to me. And it's funny, when I had that conversation, I've always thought about like the directors who are really viewing filmmaking like art instead of just like telling a story to people. And what was funny about this, what struck me about
What's it
Black
about?
Klansman is that it wasn't that, is that the movie is so good just because of how important the message is. And it's like real shit going down and it's awesome that somebody is out there like creating that today. Like there needs to be more stuff like that. So
well,
anyways.
it's a true story too.
What's it about though?
It's about a black police officer.
Nominated.
It's about a black police officer back in the 70s that actually infiltrated the KKK in Colorado Springs to become like the region leader for that chapter. And he would talk to him on the phone, and then he had an undercover cop buddy that would actually do the face-to-face.
Yeah, so the two of them had to work together to create the persona.
That's cool.
And it's directed by Spike Lee, and it is an amazing film.
Yeah, but what's really cool is that that's not really what it's about. Like
No.
I feel like that story that they told there isn't really great. Like, it's good. The actors are good, but it's not like blow me away great. It just seems like almost like a buddy cop movie. But then when he ties everything together, he drops a mic, and it's definitely impressive.
He drops the mic in very Spike Lee style.
Yeah, it was. I think it's my favorite of his movies for sure that I've ever seen. I haven't seen every single one, but that movie was really great.
It was very reminiscent of Do the Right Thing.
Yep. I don't know. I disagree with that, but anyway,
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is. There are certain aspects in that movie that he actually used in Do the Right Thing that he carried over into.
We'll have to have a spoiler show. Talk it up for sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk more about it. It was. I really was blown away.
I wrote a whole paper on Do the Right Thing.
Nice. All right, Corey, what'd you do?
What'd you do, Corey?
What's anime?
A few
IRL.
things. I did watch some anime. But first I wanted to talk about my. So I said my D&D group failed. We've since changed D&D night into just hanging out and playing video game night. And just fine. It's still fun.
Right.
You know, but my buddy bought Mario Party, so I finally got to play that. And it's actually the first like Mario Party I've ever played as well. We did I don't know if any of you guys have played it. But we did like an hour and a half session. It's like on a game board.
Right.
a weird game. I don't know. It's like it's kind of not what I was expecting. Like you could totally tell it's Japanese. Like
Sure.
it's wacky, you know?
Right.
It's wacky.
Yeah.
And it's like it doesn't make sense. Like you can be ahead the whole game and then lose in the end for getting the most bad spots on the game board, and like you get stars for doing certain things. And the mini games, some of them are sweet and some of them are just really weird.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun. I liked it. I don't know if I'll buy it myself. I'm satisfied with him having it and playing it every once in a while. I don't know. Have you guys ever played it?
I haven't played the Switch one, but I played Mario parties before. My kids, we played like 4 or 5 of them, or between the Wii U and the DS.
That's the first one I've ever played.
Yeah. Everybody says that like 2 and 3 were like the greatest shit ever. Like when those were new, like everybody acts like those were the ones that they reminisce about, and then like somewhere along the line they take a different company started making them, and they became not quite as good. And I remember when that game came out, the reviews were pretty good. Everybody was like, well, it isn't a total return to form, but it's way better than what we've been getting.
Yeah, it's cool. It's just, and some of the games are weird. Like one of them, you had to climb a pole, and you could everybody could only play it with one Joy-Con. You can't even use regular controllers. So like one of the things is you had to hold the top 2 buttons on the Joy-Con while shaking the controller up and down to climb the pole, and it was just kind of awkward and not fun. Like, but we're all sitting there like, you know. But
awesome.
it was fun. But I don't know. Mario Party, I give it a 7. But sure. I had a good time playing it. The other thing, I got Persona 5 Dancing into Starlight.
Nice.
Dancing in Starlight today. It's awesome. You're right. I mean, it's
that's awesome. Does it spoil? Can I play it, or is it going to spoil things for Persona 5 if I start playing it? Because like I remember the 4 dancing is after the end of 4, and
it is after the end of 5. I don't know if they've actually said anything that like spoils 5. Like so far, you're the Phantom Thieves, and that's kind of the only like, and you got the whole crew together.
Sure.
But
so I
obviously,
might have unlocked a couple members or something. But
right.
It's not like they didn't drop whatever the big twist is at the end of the game or something.
No.
Right.
But the stages that you dance in are different palaces as well and whatnot. So.
Sure.
But it's just all, the gang's back together, and now we're dancing. And you know, it's sweet. You get the social interactions in between, which unlocks. Well, you do the dance to unlock social interactions that unlocks different outfits and different shit, and
that's awesome.
It's just, and the music. You like the Persona music? Well, I know Nate did and Dirk does. What's it called?
I love
City
it.
Pop or whatever.
City Pop.
Yeah, but it's those remixed into dance songs, and it's really good. Like
I know.
So the songs are. I kind of suck. It's hard. I kind of suck at it, but the songs are great.
Yeah.
So,
you hear what I say now about making that a VR game where you're on the dance floor with them? Like that would be good, wouldn't it? Even if you're just bobbing your head next to them, checking it out, like while it was going on, that'd be fun.
For sure. Yeah. It is VR, but what, you just watch them, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty sweet. I only played maybe not. I'm already loving it. And then my segment's going to go long, but I'll do it quick. Just wanted to give a quick brief on this season's anime. The winter season. We're about 3 episodes into every show now. So I just wanted to list.
Are there?
How
many different after-school clubs?
None. Not.
What?
None. No. So I was just going to list off my highlights of the season. Rising of the Shield Hero, probably my favorite of the season. It's your classic normal dude gets teleported into a fantasy world as an adventurer anime,
Nice.
but with a lot of great twists and really good. The Promised Neverland. It's about these kids that are in an orphanage. Turns out it's actually in a demon world, and they're being raised to be fed to demons. And so it's about them trying to escape. Really good. Dororo. This might be my favorite one. It rivals the Shield Hero. It's about this kid who's sacrificed to demons, was born without any skin or eyes, or he can't see or talk or hear. His dad made prosthetic arms for him that are made out of swords, and he fights demons.
Nice.
Really great art and soundtrack. Boogie Pop never laughs. Boogie Pop doesn't laugh.
Is that all one title?
That's the title, yeah. It's I can't even explain that one because it's so weird. The quintessential quintuplets. Guy has to tutor a group of 5 quintuplet girls that hate studying. My roommate is a cat.
I heard about that one.
I think I have too.
My roommate's cat's a weird one. It's this guy who gets a cat. Half the episode is from his perspective. The other half of the episode is from the cat's perspective.
See, I would watch that.
With a girl voice, but it's all about him and his relationship with the cat. Yeah,
I would absolutely watch that.
Really weird and good. And then Endoro is another adventure anime about like this group of 4 girls and there's a demon lord and stuff. It's good.
It's the demon season, it sounds like.
Yeah. And the biggest anime of the season I actually don't like, but I just had to mention it, was Mob Psycho 100, made by the same guy who makes One Punch Man. I just don't like his anime apparently because...
Oh, we've been watching more One Punch Man. It's so great.
Yeah. It's everybody's favorite this season. I tried watching it. I'm just not into it. Same thing with One Punch Man. But that's it. That was my week. And go ahead.
Well, guys, I'm still on Red Dead, so haven't had much of a week outside of that. I did in Pinball FX 3. I got a score of 308 million.
Yeah,
I think on one of the tables.
Ant-Man, right?
No, it's the Marvel Women of Power.
Oh, there you go.
I think.
Yep.
I don't know what happened, dude. I was just spitting fire. It just like I was rattling. And when I came up out of it, I just could not. I was like, "What?" I started to look at that score. I was like, "What?"
Dirk, I gotta interrupt your story for 1 second. I'm so sorry, but I have a friend who has one arm, and I play pinball. I'll play pinball with him, where I play one flipper and he plays the other.
Yeah.
And, we had a game that was like that with both of
What?
us. Like
What?
I've gotten in the zone like by myself before. You know
That's
what I mean?
crazy,
But yeah,
dude.
we had one where both of us were totally got in the zone. It was nuts. It was mind.
Y'all must have had like
awesome.
a moment. I mean,
Yeah, it was. For
must
sure.
have been awkward after.
Yeah. That guy gave me a scooter ride to the beer store on the back of a scooter once.
That
too.
is awesome.
Yep. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, I think Red Dead is way too long. The game could have ended 3 hours ago. You know, I'm sorry. It just, as much as it actually brings the score down for me a little bit. It would be my second favorite game of all time, but the length is just out of control.
You're in the prologue, right?
Yes, epilogue.
The epilogue. I feel like you beat the game. You should just take your time with the epilogue. Don't rush through that part of it.
Yeah, no, I know.
He
It's
wants to
just
put
like,
the game in the rearview mirror also.
yeah,
Start something else.
I'm ready to close the door on it, and it ain't ending. It's just not ending. But
That's
so,
what. I'm sorry, Dirk. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting your
Go
stuff.
ahead.
But I can't help myself. We were talking about it on Discord. Like it's when people tell me how many hours, they say it's like 80 to 100 hours. Like that's what I put into Witcher, In The Witcher, I never felt like it was a slog ever. And everybody says what you're saying. Everybody, when they get to the end, are like, I can't believe it's still going. Like, I've heard that like 100 times over the past few months.
I don't say that.
You're the only one.
And
I said that in Discord. I said, Corey, everybody except Corey in parentheses.
No, I think it has to do with the way you travel, though, right? In The Witcher, can't you just travel to Fasta City?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah. Right.
That's a huge part of it.
Yeah,
but I just feel like that's a big deal. That's like you said, it's bringing it down for you. Like
they do bring
I don't think
fast
it's just
travel.
length. I think that's a decision that they made that was poor. You know what I mean? From what everybody's saying, anyways.
Yeah. Now, Red Dead does have fast travel in some spots. It's just not as prevalent as Witcher. Like you can't get it everywhere. You know, you have to.
And there's restrictions on the fast travel.
Yes. Yeah.
Besides
the stagecoach and the train. So my vow for 2019 was to cut my comic book consumption in half and switch to books, and I've been successful in that goal. Yes. I started reading the third book in the Farseer Trilogy. Yes. Her name is Robin Hobb. I think I've talked about her last year sometime. I think she's the best fantasy author that I've ever read, more than George R. R. Martin or the guy that does Name of the Wind, Patrick Rothfuss. She's my favorite by far, man. So her level of detail and the storytelling and everything is awesome, and I'm about halfway through that. So
that's cool.
Is that trilogy is what you're reading right now considered her best work, or like?
Yeah.
She wrote a lot of bunch.
Yeah, she has a lot of books. Yeah, she's got a bunch. She's got several trilogies, but this is the best one. This is the one that I got recommended to. It's called the Farseer Trilogy,
cool.
And it has to do with. It's basically about him becoming an assassin. Like he is raised. It's crazy. I mean, he's a very hesitant assassin, and it involves royalty and like a court and some magic and crazy stuff. It's awesome. But I have not given up on comics totally. So I got Criminal #1, which is the makers of Kill or Be Killed.
Okay.
This is their first serial comic together. Not first serial, but first. They went back to Criminal. They used to do Criminal in graphic novel form only. They would issue those out. But they wanted to do a monthly series, so they went back to it, doing a monthly title. But it's going to be like self-contained to 1 or 2 issues at a time. They just wanted some freedom with the way that they put out their stories. You know?
What do you mean it's not... It's not monthly. It's just whenever they.
It is monthly, but they can do different story arcs that are self-contained within. So they might do one story arc for 2 issues. They might do one for 5 issues. But they wanted the suspense of a monthly comic. And it's the same team. They work on the same comics all the time. Same people that did. Wait, what?
How was it?
Oh, it's excellent, dude. I mean, if you like Kill or Be Killed or My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies, their stuff is awesome. I mean, if you like one, you like all of them. Right. It's just gritty crime, just hard-boiled, like, balls-to-the-wall crime. It's awesome.
To the walls, boys.
And then I read Immortal Hulk I think it's 12. Dude, that is the craziest Marvel book maybe of all time.
That's awesome.
I mean, I don't know what, like, I cannot believe the stuff that they're doing in that series. It's so twisted and weird and dark, and I keep waiting for it to let up, and it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite Marvel comic right now?
Absolutely. No question.
Yeah, I'll read that one then.
Better than Venom, absolutely.
I'd love for them to do a movie of it.
Dude, it's so crazy. Like, the Hulk is all emaciated now, and he's skinny and sick, and it's so scary. Like, just these images in the book are just horrifying. But, and then just been watching Better Call Saul still. And
It's awesome, huh?
it's freaking awesome,
Yeah.
dude. I'm starting to get to that level where I binge it, where I watch
Yeah.
like 2 episodes in a row. You know, that and The Americans, both fantastic.
Nice.
That's my week.
Wow.
What's up, Jeff? Wow.
I've been watching Punisher season 2.
You still like it so much?
Yeah, it's really good.
That's Jigsaw.
There's 13 episodes in this season. So it's kind of nice to see Netflix break from that standard like 10 episode kind of season that they usually have.
Right.
I like
But,
the 10 episodes, so.
I did too, but I'm glad that they're doing 13 episodes because they can take their time to tell the story. Because I think sometimes when you cram something into 10 episodes, you do rush certain things.
I agree. But
Yeah.
with the Marvel shows, they've typically done 13, and I did not like that because they added stuff that didn't need to be in there. You know?
They haven't done that so
they
far
do have the
because
potential to drag out.
Yeah.
And they do have 2 antagonists in this season.
Yeah.
So, like you said earlier, you said you've read it jumps back and forth a little bit.
It's a little more spread out, not as tightly wound, but it's also more exciting.
It's more exciting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but there was this one scene that was just amazingly done. I was just like, that was awesome. Just
Nice.
the way they shot it, just it was.
That's awesome.
And when they're cutting like the end of the episodes, they'll cut it, and then that's when you want to binge the next one because you're like, well, what the fuck happened? I have to figure out what happened.
Yeah, I want to
But,
jump on. I'm taking a break because I just finished season 1, but I'm definitely going to jump on soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
jump
I
on
need to
soon.
take a break from anime and watch a little Punisher because I love the first season.
Yeah.
It's just as good as the first season.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's really action-packed. Then I've been playing more Eve this week. My corp got super active all of a sudden, so I'll jump on there for a couple hours, and
Nice.
it's more just talking to everybody
Sure.
and anything else.
Right.
Then since Nate hounded me about the VR this week on Discord,
He was picking our brains about it.
he was pretty relentless. And so I worked from home I had the day off on Friday. And I was going to hook the VR up, and so I shut down the PlayStation, I started looking, and then I pulled it out, and I cleaned all the dust out of it, and I cracked the case, and cleaned all the dust out of it, and cat hair and everything. Hooked the VR back up, and I was going to play a VR game.
Yeah.
And then I remember I had this one promo code for Assassin's Creed Odyssey from my cable provider over the holiday. It was anyone that was a customer for Comcast. As a Comcast customer, you could get this code for Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
What did it do?
So I was like, okay.
What did the code do?
It gave you an extra like 500 drachmae
Okay.
or drachmae,
Sure.
and then it gave you an 8-hour playtime boost, not 8 hours like real time. So it's 8 hours of playtime boost in money.
Wow.
And,
I wish you would have given me a heads up about that.
I didn't even think about it, dude. I didn't think about it. But
Oh, like you would have played it.
once I started playing it again, I really started falling in love with that game. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, this game is amazing, and the story's taken an interesting twist, and it's just really well done.
My buddy's
Really
saying the same thing.
Everybody says
I
that.
usually agree with you, but I was not hooked 5 hours in. I don't know.
It takes
Maybe
a
I
little bit longer. Like I said, when we first started playing, when it first came out, it took a long time just to get to that title screen. Like the prologue of the game was forever. And once you get into the story, you're not at sea as much yet. I'm not at sea that much. I'm still land, but I don't know. They made it super beneficial to just go exploring. If you pick the exploratory mode of it,
Right.
it's a lot of
we
fun
all did.
just to explore shit because you can pick up items and then go hit a quest giver, and you're like, oh, I already found this. Here you go. So you already did all the legwork, and you just picked up the quest, turn it back in. So I like that. I really
Sure.
do. So it's starting to really grow on me, and there's a lot of content out for it. And other than
Nice.
that, I'm building a Pinewood Derby car for my son.
Nice.
Good luck.
And yeah, it's been interesting so far. I broke out my Dremel that I've had for over 10 years. I hadn't used it 10 years. And I was like, I have a Dremel. And it made it a lot easier. But I mean, that's
the
my
rules. Just no engine. You just roll in.
Yeah, you just get 5 ounces is the max weight of the car.
I love
Alright,
that.
good
I did
luck.
that in Boy Scouts.
Yeah, you'll have to give us the results.
Yeah, it'll be next week. So it'll be before next week's show.
News of the week. Everybody, it's the news of the week. This week, pretty slow news week. We didn't have much to vote for compared to what we normally do. But number 5, the sequel to Detective Pikachu is already in the works. So the movie
Not
Detective
surprising.
Pikachu has not even come out yet. HollywoodReporter.com. This is where the article came from. Legendary shows confidence in its upcoming release by moving to develop a sequel almost 3 months before Pikachu opens.
Automatic audience.
Yeah, pretty crazy. But it surprised everybody with looking good. So
Yeah.
we'll see. The guy who's writing it also wrote a bunch of shit that I think is terrible. So 22 Jump Street, Men in Black, Sonic the Hedgehog. Right? I guess I can't judge that yet. But those weird legs are weird.
Oh, those are the upcoming movies that he's working on.
No, just
It
Sonic
would
the
be
Hedgehog.
24
Would it
Jump
be
Street is
24
one that's coming up.
Is it?
And MIB International.
That is
That
upcoming.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all with Thor. Yeah.
But those
That
are
looks
all
just
like
This guy's working on 5 movies at once. They're all gonna be gold. I guarantee it.
They're all, I don't know. Those kind of cheesy comedies that just like, I'll watch them for fun, but they're not good movies. You know
Can
what
you
I mean?
imagine?
Dude,
They
21
all
Jump
bomb.
Street 21 Jump Street was pretty funny.
I will say when I saw the Pokemon trailer in the theater, I thought it looked a lot cheesier than when I saw it on my phone.
Oh, I thought it looked even better. Yeah, Charizard was pretty hot on the big screen, I thought.
Definitely gonna watch. I hope.
I think it's one of those things that it could probably be terrible and people would still go to a Pokemon movie.
They would, but
this one looks good.
Not terrible. Yeah,
Oh, I
that's
know,
the
I know.
thing. That's the thing. All right. So number 4, sticking with Ryan Reynolds. He was at it was Variety.com. They were covering him promoting Once Upon a Deadpool in China because apparently it's PG enough to be shown in China. And in the middle of that, there was a quote where he started talking about Deadpool 3 for a second. The quote was, in the third installment, they're looking to go in completely a different direction, is what he said. So when they reboot or change a character, he said often in movies they reboot or change characters 4 movies too late. So
I'm hoping that doesn't mean Disney's talking to him now.
That's what I have.
I'm sure that's what it means.
And and they're like, okay, you could still be Deadpool, but all that cool shit needs
gone.
to go.
I don't know. I feel like if they just take out the cocaine, they could do the rest of it. I feel like that's it. I feel like everything
I don't
else.
know.
I don't
It
know.
just
dude.
Those
depends
sex
if-
jokes, dude. Those
Disney hasn't released
sex
the
jokes.
R. It still
tiny
needs to be
hand.
R. It needs to be R still, and Disney hasn't said they're going to release the R film yet.
Yeah. We'll see.
So
It depends on what other cat money they get from all their cash cows that they're like strangling right now.
We'll see. So number 3, IGN popped up this trailer for this game called Atomic
There we go,
Heart.
Jeff.
I did some research on it. The company that's making this game never made anything else before.
Yeah.
Lundfish or something is what they're called.
Yeah, Lundfish. Yeah.
I was Googling the hell out of them and couldn't find anything. But this thing looks amazing, huh?
No.
Jeff is the only one. I gotta hear. What are your reasons, Jeff? Because
It
keep in mind that you love Far Cry as hard as you do, and present that. Go ahead.
It's not a Far. It didn't strike me as a Far Cry movie or a Far Cry game. It was more. It was very reminiscent of like a BioShock.
You don't
as
like
Dirk
BioShock?
said. I love
everybody thinks
BioShock.
BioShock's a classic.
BioShock is great, but
Okay.
it just It didn't
Did you
do it
watch
for
this
me.
trailer?
I did watch this trailer. I watched the 10 minutes of Pain and Suffering, and I guess for me, it's
God.
like I don't
See those
understand
chickens, man?
I don't understand why the character is there and what happened with the world. And I could give 3 shits about fucking Russia and the Soviet Union. So,
Oh, God.
because the bear is always there.
I don't understand what that has to do with anything, but
It's
that
just-
trailer was awesome. And anybody listening to the show right now or watching, screw Jeff. That trailer was awesome.
It
No,
was
dude.
awesome. It was totally awesome.
Oh, it wasn't. It was shitty.
It wasn't shitty. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Don't
It-
listen to
it
him,
was
people.
just-
Just go out and check it out.
I
Yeah,
would
the
say I
game-
loved everything about it, except the melee combat looked kind of shitty. And then that quick time event thing when he got pinned down looked like it would piss me off.
It would piss me off.
I will say this in response to Jeff. I don't know if this game could be awful. I mean, it's only 10 minutes that we're looking at, and it looks like something that I would really, really enjoy.
I don't know.
Because I like those BioShock games. It looks
I
very
like
similar with Fallout-ish, but I don't know. It's 10 minutes. I mean, it could be terrible. It could be really short. It could be that's all we see in the game is what we saw. So who knows?
I think that if they wanted to get us hyped up, instead of showing a 10-minute gameplay of an alpha game,
Free alpha.
do a cinematic trailer like a lot of other games to get you excited, to get you pumped.
I thought they did.
disagree more. I couldn't disagree.
Yeah.
more.
Really?
I think, yeah, cinematic trailers are not the game.
Do nothing.
Right.
This
They're
showed
not.
the game. The game looked
Cinematic
awesome.
I
trailers
agree.
But
Yeah.
it does
makes
it creates a
Badass.
buzz.
You've seen the League of Legends cinematic trailers?
Yeah.
They're
No.
really sweet,
Right.
but it's
They play
still
the game.
League of
It's
Legends.
Yep,
It's terrible.
I agree.
All right, number two, Metroid Prime for development, restarting. Right, so
Metroid
Nintendo
Prime.
Restart, scrapped it.
they put out a video with a stuffy executive like apologizing to the world about how they're restarting Metroid 4.
He
It's kinda
wasn't
wild,
stuffy.
huh?
He was very Japanese. But I really actually appreciate
It definitely wasn't stuffy.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that they said, you know what? We told you 2 years ago at E3 that we're working on this, and we have to
Yeah, we
start
made
over.
you a promise, and we
It's-
fucked
that's
up
fine.
on it.
It's fine.
Like,
I prefer that
The
over
honesty.
dodgy
Right.
shit. I prefer that over dodgy shit where they don't say anything at all,
Sure.
or it's like canceled. You know,
I agree.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like though the 6-year hype train is going to be too long. Like they should just hold on to it until they're confident that it's ready to go, and then start
Yeah.
talking about it to people.
That's-
Like they talked about this 2 years ago, and now they're starting from scratch. Like, you know what I mean? Just wait until.
I love
All the Switch owners were waiting for it
Yeah,
at
I
this
know,
point.
I know.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, my friends, so we needed that. And like Jeff said, they didn't say something dodgy or just not talk about it. They
Yeah,
said,
I think it's good.
you know, here's the reason for the delay. We're sorry.
was very-
hope you understand. Our product wasn't up to our standards, so we scrapped it so that you guys can get the best game possible. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was a really cool video. I
I
really
would always
appreciate it.
take an apology from a Japanese game developer and Japanese company over any U.S. company saying we're sorry, because U.S. company's not going to say we're sorry. They're like, well, we took some money for you pre-orders. Go fuck yourself. We're moving on.
I think that's a pretty broad statement.
I think it's
All right, number one. Black Panther has earned the Best Picture nod for the Oscars. So
I
Big
called it.
moment.
I called it last year when it came out that I said it was Academy Award worthy.
you did.
It's not going to win, but yes.
It is not going to win. So we'll
But
say that
it's
for another
awesome to
day.
see it.
But
Like,
it is awesome that it got nominated.
it's opening the door for possible more, in the future to happen. I just think Black Panther, I understand that this has happened maybe in some other films, but Black Panther was one of those that it opened the door to it being more than a superhero film. Like,
Right.
that genre, you can
Black
operate
and
out of that genre and make something else in
Totally.
it,
right. I'm just
I'm just happy it
glad
got
a
nominated.
superhero movie
Yeah.
got nominated finally.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's a big
they'll
deal.
maybe now that one's been nominated, some of these movies are really fucking good, and they don't even give them a glance.
It's because it's a genre movie, and that's the problem. Logan would have been another great nomination.
Yes, absolutely.
Obviously, it's nominated because it was groundbreaking in so many ways, but it opened the door for superhero movies, which is sweet. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a genre movie, and it's a tough sell with the Academy.
Give me an artsy Silver Surfer film now.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Amazing.
Pop over to digitalanddice.com to listen to shows like Hazardous Endeavors, the SGO Files, or the Digital and Dice podcast. Whether you're a fan of podcasts, enjoy watching people play D&D, or just need a way to waste some time as the universe slowly cools and slides towards its inevitable entropic end, Digital and Dice has you covered. All right, it's that time of the week where we give love back to those who gave it to us. We keep YouTube. If you do YouTube, you know how it goes. They take people away from you, and so we're hovering around the same number, even though we get lots of awesome people supporting us every week. And this is the spot where we say thank you to those of you who have chosen to support us this week by giving us a subscription. These people all have channels. Please go check out their channels, subscribe to them. If you're on this list, this is a great list of active people today. Go hit them up in all the spots. So this week we got Maverick, the Sullivan family, and
Uncle Dude.
Uncle Dude.
Uncle Dude. Sorry. Uncle Dude Games. Yeah, I saw that from before. Uncle Dude Games.
YT Rockstar Gamer at Dawn 876. The funniest unfunny guy. And KB
The Aggie.
The Aggie.
Yeah.
KB the Aggie.
Yeah.
Blackhearts 194. Angel. And the Uncensored Gamers.
Word. Yeah, and don't forget Star Gaming, Sky Dragon X, Dex Hopper Games, and Capital Noob.
Nice. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for subscribing.
Thanks, everybody.
This week. We appreciate it. Every week we do a little contest called the Name of the Week, where we go through this group of people and based on nothing other than their names, pick our favorite for the week. And I got to do the one that I fucked up, Uncle Dude.
Yep.
Dude.
Second that, Uncle
Yeah.
Dude.
I like Capital Noob.
Capital Noob.
I
Corey,
do.
what you got?
I like Maverick.
Maverick, nice. Maverick has been a great supporter of
Maverick,
us.
he has been a supporter.
Yeah, but that means Uncle Dude wins.
Uncle
Congratulations,
Dude!
Uncle Dude.
Silver
Games,
trophies.
yeah, you
Nice.
are the name
What
of
I
the
really
week.
appreciate is every week they keep us on our feet trying to say these names.
Totally,
sometimes.
Yeah.
totally, absolutely. And also
For
want to
sure.
thank you, everybody who showed up our stream. We stream video games every Sunday night, 9:30 Eastern time for an hour, and it's really more about hanging out with all of you than it is about playing video games. So we got a nice little crew that's been showing up week after week,
great.
and really, really appreciate these people for sure. This week we had Maverick, Couple Up, Brooke
Couple Up.
Chaos, Captain Emo, and Mangled Nerdy all showed up, and I'm just having a great time getting to know everybody and having
Yeah.
fun conversations
Yeah.
with people. Yeah, appreciate
That
you.
was great. Emo, we're going to play a game together at some point. There's going to be a TTRPG between me and Emo at some
Yeah.
point.
For
I
sure.
know it.
Dude, I'm
We
in.
need to get them in
Yeah.
Labyrinth Lifers.
Yeah.
We need to make that happen. But,
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks everybody. All of those channels that we just talked about will all be in the description of this video. You can click on the link, sub them up, do all the stuff.
Yes.
Yes!
For sure.
Okay, everybody. Before we pop into our predictions segment, we wanted to have a little bit of talk because some of the things that we're going to talk about may be spoiler to things that came before, right? So, for example, I'm going to make a prediction about Star Wars, about something that happens in Episode 9 this year that might be predicated on Star Wars that came before that, right? and it could be anything, right? We could be talking about comic book movies here, books, like pretty much anything that is kind of down our nerdy line is open game to be spoiled. So if you're going forward, then just hold on a minute or two. For those of you that are checking out because maybe you're not up to date on something and you really want to be or are about to be soon, want to say thanks for dropping by Comically Gaming episode 127. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Please consider supporting us over at patreon.com/GCandC. If you like what we do, $1 a month could really help us out. It's what we do is important to us that we give it to everyone for free, but it's not free for us to make. So if you can help us out with it, we will pay that back to you in the best way that we can.
Yep, cool. You can also find us on Twitter at GCandC.com. And mainly our main way of communicating is our Discord channel. So hit us up there. Also our Facebook groups. Just look for our name. We share a ton of content there. And then if you want to jump on board with the show, grab a t-shirt or a sticker at teespring.com.
Yeah, the t-shirts are hot. Thanks, as always, to Fred Thomas for the opening music and Xee Reiter for our logo. We really appreciate it.
Yep, and then next week is our spoiler topic is a CBBC. We're going to be covering the hotly debated Kill or Be Killed #1. So it's my favorite book from last year. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, jump in. If you want to share in the discussion, check it out and get back with us next week.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks again for joining us this week. This is our 2019 prediction show. I want to say that I straight up 100% stole this idea from Kotaku Split Screen podcast. They do it every year, and it's good fun. And I was listening to this year's, and I was like, damn, we need to do this shit. So we're all going to make 10 predictions about this year, this upcoming year. Can have anything to do with any of the nerdy craft that we're into. That being said, we just said it in the goodbye there, but it could potentially be spoilers for things that came behind it. I gave the Star Wars example earlier. I'm going to give Game of Thrones right now. There might be a prediction about Game of Thrones, right? If you're not current in Game of Thrones, that prediction might be spoilery, right? And that was the same.
Basically,
for anything that we could talk about here. So
if you're not up to date with us on stuff we cover in our show,
right?
Spoilers alert.
Correct. Correct. So we're going to make it a bit of a contest. At the end of the year, when the results come in, we'll tally these up, and whoever gets the most correct gets to make the rest of us consume a piece of art, right? Whether it's a video game, a TV show, a movie, whatever you guys want to do. The only rules that we had about that were that it can't be more than 20 hours of our time, and it can't cost more than $20 out of our bank accounts. So that was the rules, and we'll pop those in at the end. What I was calling the punishments, even though it'll be a good punishment if I win for y'all. So.
Yeah.
So that being said, we'll go around. Corey, why don't you give us your first one?
Okay. Loki comes back. Gamora doesn't.
Nice.
Very nice.
What makes you think Loki's coming back? Just he's Loki?
Just because he's Loki. I think he's coming back, and I don't think Gamora does. That's my first prediction.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Obviously, all the dusted people come
That's
back.
a solid one. It's a solid prediction.
Okay. All right. Well, hold on with the dusted people. That's a whole other thing. You don't want to put that in there too. Jeff, what's your first one?
It's funny that we picked the Avengers, me and Corey, as one of ours because I think that some of the original Avengers aren't going to come back. I'm thinking that Tony Stark's not coming back.
All right, that's your prediction?
That's my prediction. Yeah, no Tony Stark.
Okay, all right.
And unfortunately, and the basis behind my prediction is looking at the politics and contractual obligations of Hollywood and actors.
Sure.
I think that his contract is coming up to be ended for Tony Stark.
What about Cap and Thor?
Yeah, him, Cap, and Thor are all...
Yeah,
him,
Cap, and Thor.
That's what mine is. Yeah, I said original Avengers will either die or retire in Endgame.
So okay. So Jeff's was just around Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yours is...
I'd say all three.
Iron Man, Cap, and Thor.
Yes.
Okay, so my first
They don't come back?
Yeah.
They either die or retire.
I don't
they
think
could come
Tony's
back
coming back.
and retire, you're saying?
Wait, no. All the original ones are still alive.
Yes, but I think they're going to either die or quit the game in game.
Okay, all right. So mine, which is also a rundown game, it's funny that we all picked for the first one, is that Steve Rogers ends up in his original time.
Oh wow,
Nice.
That's my first one around that. So
That's awesome.
that's,
Yep, I
that's
think that's-
interesting.
I think that happens. All right, Corey, number 2.
My first 3 are kind of run of the mill.
It's fine.
X-Men Dark Phoenix is good. New Mutants is not good. Neither of them do well in sales.
Okay, all right. What is like, I think like we can be the judges of good and not good. Like what sales? What you mean? Just like they come under their targets or what?
Yeah,
Okay.
or they come under their targets. They,
All right. Yeah.
They
Usually
don't-
they
they
report
don't
that
hold
stuff
up. Yep.
afterwards.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be until Disney.
They don't
takes
stack
over.
up with the other superhero movies.
Right.
You know, I mean, they don't meet sales don't meet expectations.
Sure. All right.
Those mutant movies have been, people kind of hate on them.
Yeah.
I really like them.
I like them too.
It's
They're
not a
little
hard
cheesy.
prediction.
There's a little cheesy at points, but I still like them. Jeff.
Yeah.
Number 9, I went with episode 9. Talking about that, I think they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle to get the story back on track, but because of what Disney did at the end of episode 8 with the showing the children with force powers, they're going to gear that movie more towards focusing on that, and that Kylo Ren and Rey are going to start the next Jedi Order.
Okay, that was a lot that you just said there. What,
Yeah.
what are the things? What are the check mark things that have to happen for that to be done?
Kylo Ray and Ren and
Kylo and Rey.
join up and start the next Jedi Order.
Yeah, Kylo and Rey are going to be the new leaders of the Jedi Order.
Okay, that's the prediction there. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, cool. That's funny. It's funny. Jeff, or I mean Dirk, what you got?
Okay. Piggybacking on Corey's a little bit, I think we're going to see our first snapshot at the new MCU properties recently purchased this year.
Meaning, like, what's got to happen for that? Like, there's got to be a like Wolverine clause in the end-to-end game or something.
Yeah, any sort of idea, like, and I'm not talking about stuff that's already been developed by Fox that's being released. I mean, like, under the Marvel banner with the new characters, it's going to be something, whether it's, like you said, Wolverine's claws or a Cyclops shooting a beam or...
Sure.
Yeah.
The end
We'll know it
credits
when we see it.
after the end game, the end credits, they ask someone's advice and he turns his head and it's Reed Richards.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yes,
that would qualify.
absolutely.
Okay. All right, cool.
I get goosebumps.
Mine for this one is I think that I don't actually think it's going to happen, but I'm trying to wish it into truth. I say that Wizards of the Coast gets with the times and partners with D&D Beyond to offer a physical digital combo of their books
Oh,
for
nice.
one price. So
Yeah.
That'd be
it
so
might
sweet.
even
Prediction.
be
Is that
might
a
even be
wish
little
or a
bit more
prediction?
expensive, right? Like it'll be $70 instead of $50 or
Whoa.
whatever. But there'll be some kind of like, if you buy the book through us, we'll mail you a book and you get access to all of their stuff on the site. That's mine there.
Wow,
Your fingers
That-
crossed.
that is a
Yeah,
wish.
that is a huge wish.
All right, Corey, what you got?
The Joker movie bombs.
No
What?
way. No.
No
Yeah.
way.
Actually, I agree with
Yep.
that one.
I talk to the kids. I talk to the kids all day. I work with young people. They're all not interested at all.
Well, we're going to see about that.
Alright.
I've been hearing
Well,
good
that's-
shit
that's
from
the
that
prediction.
set.
Yeah, I'm excited for it as well, but I'm
Nice.
giving my prediction.
That's
It's gonna
funny.
bomb.
I think that's one less for me to worry about.
All right,
Jeff.
I switched gears to video games. I was supposed to be a follow-up to what we were going to discuss, but I think Division 2 is going to be good, but they're going to Ubisoft the sequel.
What's that mean?
That means that they're going to add new features that are going to be really annoying and piss off players, much like trying to open a chest in Black Flag. That's my prediction.
Didn't you just finish talking about a Ubisoft game that you really liked?
I do.
So how do we judge that? Just the fan response is like we start reading articles about something that pisses fans off about Division 2,
is,
you
yeah,
think?
yeah.
That's
I think
a good
that
one. I disagree. Like I think Division 2 is going to be tight and nail it and like get more down. But I could see that happening.
And I justify. I said they're gonna fix the annoyance and irritations that were in the Division.
Okay.
Ubisoft is pretty good about responding to that.
Sure.
But they're gonna introduce new shit.
And something's going to piss people off.
Sucks. And I remember, and I used the example of trying to open a chest in Black Flag, and you had to dance around that motherfucker 400 or 500 times just to get that right angle. So.
Okay. All right. Dirk.
Okay. Either in-game or Captain Marvel will. Going back to Marvel, will also introduce us to the Eternals in some form or fashion.
Okay.
Oh, the Watcher.
Sure.
Yep.
Nice.
Well, any of them. I mean,
yeah.
We're going to start to see that the MCU is definitely going cosmic. I mean, we already saw it on a big scale last year, and then this is going to be the Eternals dropping soon. So.
Cool. So sometime this year.
All right.
Yeah, one of those two movies particularly. Yeah.
Cool. I've got the PlayStation 5 is not officially announced by Sony in 2019.
Wow.
That's what I have. They're gonna hold off. Microsoft's will come out, I believe. That's not part of the prediction at E3, and Sony will not. They're just gonna stay quiet and just ride off the big games that they've got on the horizon here. The Last of Us, Death Stranding. They're gonna hang their hat on that stuff for this year. Corey.
All right. I think the Nintendo Switch will lead 2019 in console sales.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a big
It
one.
could happen though. The other two are on their downside.
They're on their downside. Pokemon's about to come out in 2019.
You could be onto it.
It beat Xbox One last year.
Yeah.
And didn't come too far off from Sony. And Sony had Spider-Man and God of War last year. Huge exclusives dropping. The Switch has Pokemon coming out next year. The actual Pokemon, not Pokemon Let's Go. That's my prediction.
All right, Jeff.
That's my prediction. Well, I was going to poke fun too. I think Far Cry 5 New Dawn is going to be a good game, but it's not going to... It's going to pale in comparison
to the rest.
It's going to have another downfall because, once again, it's a Ubisoft game.
Sure. So, again, I'm thinking about, like, how do we judge that? Is it, like, Metacritic score?
It's going to be Metacritic scores, I think, yeah.
Okay, less than 5 or whatever?
Yeah, I'd say less than 60.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's a negative for sure. Okay.
No way that's going to happen.
Dirk.
I'm shaky about this one, but we will see another big release animated film a la Spider-Verse from one of the big two.
Huh?
Like, major release in theater, like...
In 2019?
Yes.
Okay, all right, cool.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
I hope that those are easy for them to make, and we start seeing like 6 a year or something. Like.
Oh, it'd be great.
Yeah, I'd be totally into it. All right, mine... what is this? I got number 4. I got him the wrong direction. But turns out that Ray does have famous parents.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I'm not saying who they are, but somebody you know, somebody you've heard of before, is one of her parents.
Well, it can't be the Organas.
It could be a Kenobi. Could be.
It could be an Organa.
It could be but like I say, it's not going to just be this like the nobodies. That's not going to be the story. So there you go, Corey.
Okay. Sony and Microsoft both reveal new consoles.
Nice.
Safe
differentiator between us. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Flip of the coin.
Nice. All right, Jeff.
Switching gears, the Academy Awards, because it's not that far off. And starting at the bottom of the barrel, I think original song is going to be from A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga.
Okay. All right.
It's called Shallow.
Oh, Interesting. Look at you.
Nice. Nice. That one's easy. That one's easy to judge for sure.
It is.
All right, Dirk, what do you got?
Okay, Swamp Thing, the show, will be fantastic, but no one will know because they won't subscribe to DC's streaming service. Also, so what I'm saying is that it's going to be critically acclaimed, but it's probably going to be canceled within a year or so because
everyone's gonna
nobody...
torrent it.
Right.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mine that I have is a cheap Switch is announced. Joy-Cons not detachable.
Wow.
There you go.
That's
No way.
interesting.
No way.
Certain
Certain games need those Joy-Cons.
That's okay.
Yeah.
They made games that were only specific to new 3DS. They don't care about that stuff.
Okay.
Tell
All right.
me.
Marvel Comics does a relaunch.
That's every year.
That's like the slam dunk.
Yeah, that's like an out. Oh, man.
Got it.
All right,
We'll
that's fine.
see. Well, watch, I'll be wrong on that one.
Right. We'll see. We shall see. Jeff, what do you got?
This year's best director is going to be Spike Lee.
Okay. I can see it after what we talked about earlier in the show.
That is a good one, though. That's a like not safe bet.
Yeah, I know it's not.
I think. Well, yeah, yes. Okay, listen, Dirk, what do you got?
Okay, we're gonna get maybe it's like 30 seconds or a minute teaser from Amazon for Lazarus.
Okay, nice,
The show.
nice. You seen they've been doing that around Good Omens? No, like.
No, I did not.
Yeah, it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
All right, mine here is the Night King wins. I'm going to double down on that prediction. Everybody you know is dying. The Night King is going to win.
I'm kind of there.
Glad
I'll
you
tell you
picked
mine when it comes up.
All right, Corey.
Glad you picked that because here's my prediction. And it's actually kind of a wild prediction because it's probably the most basic prediction. Daenerys becomes queen. Jon Snow dies after defeating the White Walkers.
Okay.
It's my Game of Thrones prediction.
Death of some sort.
Or gets killed
Okay.
while
In the final
after. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Jeff.
I'm going to keep, I'll go with my Game of Thrones at the end. But next Academy Award prediction is an animated feature is going to be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I
That's
hope
going to
so.
win. It's category you're saying?
Yeah, it's going to
absolutely
win
gonna win.
animated feature, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. It won the Golden Globe and not. But what was we talked about last time? What's the Pixar movie Invincibles, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Invincibles
Invincibles
2.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that Invincibles 2...
Incredibles.
Incredibles. Thanks.
Come on.
Invincibles. I think the Incredibles 2...
I was like, that's not right.
It's not right. But I think they just played it safe and made the sequel, whereas Spider-Man, dude, they set the bar for animated movies.
Yeah, it deserves it. For
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
Yeah, I hope you're right.
groundbreaking. It's groundbreaking. I mean, it was.
It was.
Hope you're
It
right.
felt like a comic book and
Yeah.
a movie.
On
Dirk.
purpose.
And awesome.
Here's my Game of Thrones. The 3 main GOT characters in that teaser all die.
The
And
Starks?
Daenerys, this is mine. The
Starks?
Starks, yeah. The Starks die, and
Okay.
Daenerys goes crazy.
Nice. Like it.
Who are the Starks? Sansa, Arya, and
Jon
Jon Snow. All 3 die.
what about the weird psychic one?
Bran?
Oh,
Didn't
Bran?
say anything
Does
about
not die. But
You don't
that's
think
not
he
part of my... I don't think he dies. But that's
Okay.
not part of
Okay.
my prediction.
Gotcha.
Bran?
Gotcha. All right. Nice. Corey?
All right.
Or wait, am I
Uh,
up? I'm up.
You're up.
Sorry. My bad. I've got Cyberpunk 2077 is announced as a next-gen only game.
Of
course, it'll be on PC also, but at some point this year, CD Projekt Red will come out and say, "Hey, this game looks awesome." They'll show us another demo that blows our minds, and they'll say it's going to take another 2 years, and it's going to come out on next-generation consoles.
Stab me in the back.
Brutal.
All
right, Corey, now you're up.
What number are we on? I'm the start of it.
We got 3 left.
This is 3.
Yeah.
All right. So number 7.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Number 8 for me.
I mean, for our countdown's sake, whatever. PlayStation users will be able to change their usernames. It's happening this year. It's gonna happen.
That's funny. All right, Jeff.
Still rocking the Academy Awards. Best actor is gonna be Rami Malek.
Malek, yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. I can see that happening for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
He did a great Freddie.
All right.
Mercury. All right.
What do you got?
All right, my last 3 are all D&D related.
All right. Bring it.
The major one is there will be 5 D&D publications this year.
Okay.
2 settings books, 1 source book, and 2 adventures.
It's a bold prediction.
The setting books will be A, Eberron, and B, something from a previous edition, and then I'll piggyback with another prediction after that.
All right.
Alcateam.
Alcateam.
Here's mine that goes against somebody else's earlier prediction. Kylo Ren stays evil. No redemption story. Full dark side. He's the villain here.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Corey?
Nice.
I agree. Disney will revoke EA's Star Wars license.
You're right.
I wish you were right.
Speaking of wishing things into existence, like I hope you're right about that one.
Yeah, that was kind of a wish, but there's been a lot of call for it. It could happen.
Yeah, I hope you're right. All right, Jeff, where are you at?
Best picture is going to be Blackkklansman.
Blackkklansman?
Yeah.
Nice.
I wish it would be Black Panther, but
Can't happen.
it's not going to happen. And I don't think Roma's going to win, even though it's getting a lot of acclaim.
Yeah, I need to watch that. We almost watched it last night.
Because, one, it's a foreign film because it has subtitles throughout the entire movie. And the Academy typically does not like to have foreign films as the best picture. And Blackkklansman, yeah, I know. But Blackkklansman also, Spike Lee was nominated for Best Director, and Best Supporting Actor nomination was Adam Driver. So when you start filling those wickets, and it had Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yeah,
So-
Driver was fucking awesome in that movie.
Okay. You're applying too much to your prediction. You're making a super safe prediction there.
I just researched the shit out of it.
We'll see what happens. All right, Dirk.
All right.
I do want to say, I don't think Black Panther will get it. I think it's a nod to Black Panther that they nominate.
Oh, yeah, we said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, back to D&D. Psionics will be officially introduced this year into Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I've been reading up. I hope you're right about that one for sure.
Hell yeah.
All right. I got back in the video game realm. Say the next Xbox will be announced. It will have a version that is either less than $100 or free with subscription. No disk drive, small hard drive. You buy your own hard drive for it. So it'll be.
What is this? Xbox?
The next Xbox will be $100 or less.
Weird.
It'll be downloadable only, and it'll be if you get a subscription to Xbox Live or whatever, they might just give it to you, one or the other of those. It'll either be less than $100 or free.
That sounds very specific. Where you have some evidence or something?
Yeah, that sounds super specific.
Well, we'll see if I can nail it. I think they'll do that. They've tested those waters before. They did it with the current Xbox, in like Verizon or something like that. Like they're doing that for a reason. They're gonna go towards the cell phone model of like small upgrades, free consoles. Cool.
Yeah, could happen.
Number one.
Number two.
Number one.
Number one.
Yep, number one.
Number one.
Hawkeye kills Thanos with the killing blow, proving himself his best adventure.
Nice.
Fucking wild.
I love it.
Ronan.
I love it.
Very specific.
Jeff, what do you got?
I saved my Game of Thrones for now.
Okay.
I think that when all is said and done, Cersei's going to live through the whole thing.
Okay. Cersei lives. All right.
I can see that.
Cersei lives. Huh?
Yeah.
She's a survivor, man.
Maybe she marries the Night King, and then both of our predictions come.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be amazing.
She becomes the Night Queen. That could happen. I could see
She is a cold-hearted bitch.
That's true.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, she would scare him.
All right, Dirk.
All
She
right.
would scare the Night King.
The new Dungeons & Dragons setting, released in 2019, will be, drumroll please,
Al-Qadim.
Starfighter.
Planescape.
Planescape. Okay. Nice.
Planescape.
All right.
Book it.
Planescape.
All right. My last one, and wrapping these all up, is that some sort of way Endgame finishes with Peter Parker still missing, gone, not a part of things. Like at the end of it, we're all going to be like, what the fuck? How is Peter Parker not back? Like that's going to be that's going to happen in Endgame. And then the next Spider-Man movie will explain it, but that's not part of my prediction. Is that
Alternate
my prediction
universe.
is at the end of Endgames, Peter Parker is still MIA.
Nice. That's awesome.
See what happens. All
We'll
right.
see.
So going around,
That's
like you
great.
said, whoever wins gets to make the other ones kind of experience, take part in something that they like. So Corey, what's your punishment for us?
Here we
if you
go.
win?
Right. I picked my top 12 anime of last year.
Okay.
So it's not going to cost you guys any money, but you have to watch each episode, one episode of each anime I picked a month,
Okay.
and we have to talk about it on my show that month.
All right. I like that.
Got it.
So
That's it.
It's got to be like, I don't torrent shit, so it's got to be like on Crunchyroll. or something that I can do for
Crunchyroll or
free.
Netflix. I
Okay.
picked everything that you can get on Crunchyroll or Netflix.
I'm into it.
Yeah,
I'm down.
Cool.
Perfect.
that's your punishment.
I like it.
Sorry, Jeff.
I like
Yeah.
it. Jeff, what do you got?
Here we go.
You
We have
guys,
to discuss it, so you have to watch it, Jeff.
Still Team 6.
SEAL Team 6. No, you have to play. It's not going to cost you anything. You're going to have to play 20 hours of Eve.
Oh, I could do that. I could
dude.
get
I
into
like
that.
I
Yeah,
like that a lot, actually.
I could do that.
It's free.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
I might be playing potato mode.
Yeah.
All right,
I could
cool.
do that.
Cool. Dirk? Sorry, the second time I did that.
The punishment is you have to watch the full season 1 of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood
Is that under 20
on
hours?
Netflix.
Okay.
Netflix. Yeah, it's under 20.
That's a reward for me.
All right. Yeah, good deal. Cool.
All
I
right.
know. I wanted something that I think you guys would enjoy,
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
but
I did the
won't
same
do
thing.
on
See,
your
if I
own.
pick my favorite anime and that's why I picked one from my top 12.
Sure. Yeah.
Is because I didn't want to. My shit's kind of weird and like slice of life, and Nate and Jeff would probably want to kill themselves 3
Yeah.
episodes in.
Well, especially like the horses and the derby girls. And
Yeah, mine's not a
no,
punishment.
good ones.
Okay.
Mine's
No,
not a
it's
punishment. I just
a
want to...
great show that
Yeah.
you guys will enjoy.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right.
Love it.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up. Mine is that I want you guys to play. And Corey's already done it, but the other two of you, and then we'll talk about it or whatnot. But Telltale's Walking Dead Season 1.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think it's $15, and you can finish that in 10 hours for sure. But to me, it's so wonderful in such.
I was gonna. That's weird. We had that conversation before we.
I know.
started
I didn't want to say
filming.
anything. I thought, oh fuck, you better not pick that. I was hoping you were saying Wolf Among Us, and you did. So good.
Yeah.
Good deal. So yeah, hold off because I think your wife will probably enjoy it as well. It's
Yeah.
really really great. Yeah, so
Cool.
all right. Well, cool.
That was awesome.
Yep,
I'm gonna win.
We'll take this episode. We'll throw it in the vault, and then we'll open it up after the holidays in 2020. And see who wins this thing. Yeah,
I'm gonna be checking it off as the year goes.
right.
Absolutely.
When something happens, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. GOT.
Alright. Cool guys. Thanks for doing this experiment with me.
Guys,
All right, thanks everybody for watching. We
Thank
love you.
y'all.
We really
Peace.
appreciate you.
Love you.
All right.
Later.
later.
Bye.
Later.